You ever have a small worry that turns into a full-blown crisis in your mind? That's overthinking. Or you receive a text, but it's very vague, such as, we need to chat. First things in your mind is, uh-oh, what's going on? Am I in trouble? What did I do now? What's next? Sound familiar? And then your brain goes down this rabbit hole, spiraling into the worst case scenario. Overthinking is endless, and I know this struggle firsthand. Now, the overthinking cycle, for me, what I've experienced, happens in 4 different waves. The first is usually a small trigger, such as a text or an email that's vague, or uncertainty. Whenever I feel uncertain about something, I just start to think of every single possible scenario, which then leads into the next wave. Then catastrophizing kicks in. It is the worst case scenario all the time. From that small trigger, email, text, voicemail, a situation you quickly experienced outside, shortly after, it's followed by anxiety symptoms, whether it's mental or physical. So for example, nervousness, frustration, anger, fear. Physical symptoms also arise. And I've experienced some drastic ones. For example, before meetings, I used to throw up, or I'd have cases of diarrhea. And this would happen repeatedly, either throughout the day or day after day. Yeah, that's how intense my overthinking and catastrophizing was. I was so worried that something bad was going to happen to me in those situations. And then of course, the loop, it just continues on. Overthinking leads to more overthinking. Catastrophizing leads to more catastrophizing. One worry leads to another. What if I'm late? What if I don't deliver that output by Friday? What's gonna happen? Oh no, the project's delayed. If the project's delayed, then we go over budget. If we go over budget, heads are gonna roll. So who's in trouble then? For sure it's me. Yeah, your brain is smart. It knows what to do to freak you out. So I referenced physical symptoms. There's vomiting, there's diarrhea, there's feeling like there's not enough air in the room, lightheadedness, headaches. Sometimes you can have migraines, earaches, a racing heart, like my blood pressure just shoots through the roof. I've actually had readings of 146 over 97. And this was prior to having a physical, just to give you context. My doctor's office is not close. It was through a very congested and tight area. So in order to get there, I had to leave at a certain time. By the way, I had to bring my daughter with me. Couldn't leave her at home by herself. So it was the stress of getting my kid ready to go, making sure she had a snack, her water, extra clothes, just in case an accident happens where she forgot to pee. Get her into the car, hop into the car, get onto the highway, get off, exit to that area where it's chaos, and then eventually getting to the office. And then also, because I hadn't been to my doctor's office in a while, everything was done virtually, I totally forgot where to go. What floor was he on? How do I check in? Who do I speak to? Yeah, so all that was racing through my mind. So naturally, when they took my readings, my blood pressure readings, they were shocked. They said, oh my God. They said, oh my God. Okay, we're gonna have to take 5 readings and take the average. So try to calm down. Yeah, initially it was like 155 over 98, something like that. I don't remember exactly, but it was high. That's how far my anxiety impacts my body. All sorts of physical manifestations of your anxiety occurs. We've talked about how the cycle works, what are the different waves, and the fact that it goes into a constant loop. There is a way to break through. It is not easy. So along the way, I've learned 4 different steps. They don't necessarily have to follow a specific order, but these are some of the things that has worked for me, so I hope they work for you. Step number 1, recognize that you're overthinking in that moment. Recognize you're feeling anxious. So if it comes on in a particular situation, say to yourself, okay, I feel it, it's coming. I'm nervous about driving out to that spot. I'm nervous about my presentation coming up in about an hour. I'm nervous about meeting my in-laws. I'm nervous about meeting the school principal for the very first time. Recognize it. Give it a name. Tag it. Identify it. Catalog it. Categorize it. Journal it. Right? We talked about journal many times now, and it's no different. Now, the second step is very difficult, but if you can try at least once. So step number 2 is challenging it. Yeah. Okay, challenge it. Yeah, fine. Oh, okay. So I'm feeling nervous and I'm overthinking. But what though? Why? Okay, so I'm meeting my child's principal for the first time. Okay, so I'm not the one in trouble. In fact, are we even talking about being in trouble? It could be something else. It could be new health policies in the school, new pickup policies in the school, new drop-off policies in the school. Like there's a multitude of things. We have no idea what it's gonna be about. So leave it at that. Challenge it. Don't let it take over. Try not to let it take over. Stand up to it. The next step, because you've been operating at this level, at a heightened sense, get grounded. Ground yourself, which means stay in the present. And it can be as easy as feeling the ground underneath you, going to a loved one and hugging them, or simply talking to yourself and say, I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay. This is nothing. I'm gonna be okay. I'm safe. I'm fine. Everything's good. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going to happen, and that's fine. Okay? That's fine. And the last step, which is take action. Often, a lot of our overthinking occurs because we're hesitating. Once we hesitate, we're giving our brain a chance, right, to put walls up, bring about doubt, bring on noise, so that you don't have to do that thing that you're unfamiliar with. Make a decision. Take action. If you're afraid or nervous about heading outside, do it. Because what I've found is that when you're afraid of something, or you're nervous about something, you're anxious about something, it means growth. Sounds weird. It means you're growing, you're thinking outside of your safety zone, which means progress. So, if you're afraid of heading outside, go outside. Make a decision. Face it. I'll give you an example. I often get nervous calling to make an appointment. Yeah. I would rather DM or go into their website and try to do it that way. Self-service appointment. Yeah. Even though the person on the other end of that phone call knows nothing about me, and really it is their job to schedule appointments, I still feel nervous and anxious about it. I overthink. I think they're gonna be judging me. Oh my gosh, this guy can't speak well. What is he asking? What does he want? Is he confused on what day it is? Did he forget our times are only this? Yeah, all that starts to pop into my mind. But then I found that when I tell myself, hey, you're just calling to make an appointment. That's it. You need this appointment because you need a refill on prescriptions, you need to be checked, you're just doing your physical. It's something that needs to be done. So you know what? The hell with it. I'm going for it. I'm going to dial that number and I'm going to speak to that person in addition to those 4 steps. But repetition, repeating, reps, going through these situations repeatedly helps to decrease some of that anxiety. Why? Because you're getting familiar with yourself. You're getting familiar with yourself, your environment, and the situations that you're putting yourself in. Make sense? Now, overthinking is tough. It's extremely difficult. But remember, you are not your thoughts. They're just thoughts. You are your actions. So the next time you spiral, you start to overthink, just ask yourself, is this real? Or is it talking? Challenge it. Tell me in the comments, what's one way overthinking has affected you? Until next time, take care of yourself. I'll see you on the next one.